We need to get one thing straight right off the bat. A robot is not a metal person. It is not an artificial intelligence trapped inside a tin suit waiting for a software update to suddenly gain a personality. Robotics is something much deeper. Long before modern robotics, humans built automata. We used springs, gears, and cams to sequence complex movements. They were essentially motion scripts written in matter. A specific arrangement of cams and levers could make a mechanical bird flap its wings or sing a song. These machines proved that physical behavior could be sequenced and repeated, but they had absolutely no awareness of their surroundings. A gear isn't thinking, and a spring isn't observing. These early machines were pure physical choreography. They executed their instructions perfectly, but without any way to receive feedback from the world around them. That choreography eventually moved into the factory. Early industrial machines like this Unimate arm took repetitive motion and turned it into programmable labor, working tirelessly to weld, lift, and assemble. But they shared the exact same flaw as those clockwork birds. An early industrial arm is really just a wrist with a memory. It executes a path, assuming the physical world will perfectly cooperate with its instructions. The problem is, reality is incredibly rude. It rarely obeys a pristine digital model. Objects slip, floors are uneven, materials deform. When a machine operates completely blind to these unpredictable changes, the result is fast, heavy, and often violent. To survive a messy world without breaking itself or everything around it, a machine has to stop assuming. It has to act, measure the result, and constantly adjust. It has to become a closed loop. That loop starts with sensing. Cameras, lasers, and force detectors push information from the outside environment into the machine. Through perception, the robot filters out noise to build a world model, constantly asking itself, what part of reality can I safely believe right now? Once it builds that model, the machine has to push back. This is actuation. This is the exact moment a digital decision enters physical matter and lines of code become actual physical torque. Planning a digital path for the arm's skeleton is kinematics, but kinematics only tells you geometry. Dynamics asks who pays the bill, because the moment you command a joint to move, you fight the physical resistance of friction and gravity. You can have the most sophisticated digital plan in the world, but it is completely useless if your physical actuators cannot successfully negotiate with the stubborn constraints of mass. To manage that negotiation, a robot relies on its controller. Think of this as the machine's nervous system. Its only job is to constantly compare the ideal digital target state to the messy, physical, actual state. How does the machine calculate this difference without violently overshooting the target and shaking itself apart? It relies on a mathematical tool called a PID controller. Look at this diagram. The P stands for proportional control, which reacts to the present moment. It asks, how wrong am I right now? If the target line is far away, the system pushes harder. As it gets closer, the correction shrinks. But sometimes a physical barrier like friction keeps the arm just short of the goal. That's where the I, integral control, steps in to remember the past. It asks, how long have I been wrong? Accumulating that failure over time to build up enough force to push through the resistance. Finally, the D, derivative control, looks ahead. It asks, how wrong am I about to be? By watching how fast the error is closing, it anticipates momentum and tells the motors to pump the brakes before the machine overshoots the target. Past, present, and future error. A robot is not highly accurate because it moves perfectly the first time. It is accurate because it constantly, thousands of times a second, admits it is slightly wrong and corrects itself. This exact loop is what allows a humanoid robot to walk up a flight of stairs. Bipedal walking is really just a controlled fall, where every single step is constantly measured by sensors and corrected by actuators to keep the body upright. Soft robotics takes this a step further. Instead of relying on rigid, forceful precision, these machines use flexible materials to absorb uncertainty. The squishy body itself becomes part of the control loop, allowing a mechanical hand to hold fragile fruit without bruising it. Take that loop millions of miles away, and you have space robotics. A rover operates on the exact same principles, but its loop has to survive massive communication delays, brutal temperatures, and entirely unknown hostile environments. Every single robotic body, whether it's walking on legs, squishing around an object, or rolling over a crater, is a physical bet about what kind of terrain its control loop has to survive. This is why we have to separate AI from robotics. A language model can confidently hallucinate a wrong answer with zero physical consequence. But if a 2-ton machine hallucinates a clear path through a solid wall, the result is a violent crash. Embodiment forces intelligence to pay the physics bill. A truly safe robot isn't one that just promises to behave. It is one with heavily engineered constraints that physically prevent its errors from causing harm. Robotics is the exact point where abstract computation is forced into brutal, unforgiving contact with physical reality. We aren't building metal humans. We are building machines that take information and attempt to force it onto the world, earning their bodies through a relentless, never-ending loop of error and correction.